Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. This is the Marvelous One with Philasophikal and Don, back for another week of sports talk, recaps, and prediction. Today, we have our returning guest, Dale, with more insight on his Cowboys. What's good with you, fellas?
What up?
What's up?
Man, rough week.
Rough week? Well,
Very rough week.
can't be any worse than my week, right? My team lose to the Carolina Panthers, one of the worst teams in the division, a team that is trying to lose, and we still can't help them. I mean, god damn. I mean, we lost 10-7 to a team that fired their coach, cut their starting quarterback, traded away their best player, and they basically have nothing. And we lose to them. I mean, this is ridiculous. Let me give you a ridiculous statistic here. Sam Darnold was 5 of 15 for 43 yards, 2 interceptions. Did you hear me?
Wow.
5 of 15 for 43 yards, 2 interceptions. And we lose the game 10-7. So that tells you all you need to know about my team. My defense is really good. My offense stinks. We got terrible quarterbacks that can't do anything. That's why I blame. I don't blame the offensive coordinator. He's not a miracle worker. But, hey, it is what it is, and we're probably going to continue this foolishness next year with Dennis Allen. So, hey, that's why we're not in the playoffs, and you guys, your teams are in the playoffs. So, enjoy. But, I mean, Don, are we going to see Lamar in the playoffs against those Bengals? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good about Lamar right now. Last game of the season, so we knew that due to the rules of how the initial tiebreaker, it didn't make any sense to one, win the game, and two, risk players getting hurt to say a tiebreaker is going to be a coin flip, and you didn't know if the guy flipping the coin was left-handed or right-handed. So you didn't even want to take that risk at all. So I think it was smart. I think that everybody needed to heal up, and I think we did that. We gave the backups, a lot of reps. Drake, he got out there, he did it, a little bit running on the carpet a little bit. Not as impressive as I would have liked to, but likely the tight end, he's showing a lot of promise. 8 receptions for 103 yards. So we got guys that can get out there, and it looks good if we decide to go with that double tight end set. But yes, Lamar is the key, and I reiterate that. I know it's kind of shaky right now, due to the what do you call it, the radio silence of not being so much as a media blast. But that's how you is when you family. You keep all the information close held. We know what's going on with Lamar. We understand that there are some harsh feelings about not having the contract that he would desire, especially when you see that when he's outside the loop, how much of a change in the offense, a change in the atmosphere, and the dynamicness that he gives the Ravens. I mean, we built this team basically around him, and now that we're saying that we built the team around him, one, we don't want to supply him with the weapons, and two, we don't even want to pay him to thank him for the some of the things he's done in the past and things that he's going to do in the future. I mean, that's what the check is basically supposed to be based on. It's based on past performance as well as future endeavors. And I think that he's earned that right. And that's the part that a lot of people are not looking at. You won. You got him on a rookie contract. He filled the stadium to capacity and he's a model citizen. Being that, and I say that due to the fact that we got, a guy who's, one of the highest paid guys out there who has a lot of scrutiny attached to his name. So,
and he brought an MVP to Baltimore.
Yeah, unanimous MVP. So it's a winning attitude, and it's different. And a lot of people are afraid of it because here's the thing. Baltimore has been a defensive cornerstone for years. I mean, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. You're looking at Terrell Suggs with Ball So Hard University, Siragusa. You looking at those guys that had that, even the offensive guys, had a defensive mind state. Steve. You look at Steve. Steve was one of those guys that he went out and yanked the ball out of midair. He played more defense because if one of two things. I'm gonna get the interception, or I'm gonna catch the ball, or you're not gonna get the interception. So he played defense and offense
You talking
sometimes.
about
And
Steve
Flacco,
Smith?
yes, Steve Smith. Flacco wasn't accurate, even with Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden said, either I get that ball or nobody gets that ball.
Mm.
Great receivers, even like Michael Irvin. That's how you throw to him. Because if that ball is up for grabs, guess what? I'm gonna get it or nobody gets it. And sometimes an offensive player has to turn into defense in order to continue that play. We haven't had a high volume receiver that can open up the offense and give that dynamic culture that we should be shifting towards with the paradigm. I think sometimes we want to keep on going with the old recipe because the recipe has guaranteed us 2 Super Bowls. A solid defense, a solid kicking game, run game, and not turning over the ball. But I digress. Back to your question originally, I think Lamar's going to come here, and I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. I think that the only way that he could do that is that he's 100%, being that he's going to have to carry that load. And I think he's going to be showing off an MVP performance during the playoffs. So I look forward to it.
So you see him playing?
I see him playing.
Okay, let me change my pick here.
Keep
All
that
right.
same energy, please.
All right. Well, while we're on the subject of quarterbacks, quarterbacks that's having an outstanding year, but for some reason he's not liked. So I'm gonna talk to Phil. Phil, Kirk. Kirk had a good year, man. 13-4, blew out the Bears, won the division. I know you're gonna say you're gonna lose in the first round. I get it, but how you feeling, man?
I've given Kirk Cousins some kudos this year.
Really?
Point blank.
When?
Yeah, oh yeah. A couple weeks here and there. A couple weeks here and there. But I'm gonna say this again. Obviously we're not even a playoff defense, not a Super Bowl defense. So I think not to spoil my pick here, but I think the Giants it's going to be a real close game. I think the Giants' defense is very good. It's dangerous. Kirk Cousins struggles against good defenses, in my opinion.
So whoa. I know we hadn't gotten to that part yet, to the predictions part, but I'm just going to write this down now. You're picking the Giants.
I'm picking the Giants. It's going to be 21-17. Giants.
Damn, man, he picking the score 21-17.
Man, it's going to be. I'm prepared for. I prepared for this all season long.
Okay.
All season long for a first round exit. That defense, we can't stop a fly. Saquon Barkley back there gonna be running all day. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be an upset in the making.
Wow. Okay, well,
hey Marv, is he gonna be able to go back home? He's constantly picking against his team.
I know, and maybe that's
because
that's part of the strategy.
The defense,
maybe that's part of the strategy, Don. He is picking against them because he doesn't want to jinx them. I get it, Phil. You slide dog. I got it. That's why you do it.
You think slide dog over here.
You picking against them because you're superstitious. And you say, oh no, they're gonna lose. Kirk Cousins stinks, and then Kirk Cousins throws for 400 yards and beat the Colts.
They're not gonna beat the Giants.
You're not fooling the listeners, Phil. Okay. We get your strategy. Right. So you're picking against them in this playoff round, and they're gonna win. You know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Vikings.
Good one, Marvelous. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
good one too. Good. Yeah. It's when you don't have anybody to pick this week, it's all it's a 50-50 pick.
You slide dog. Okay, all right. Dell, back on the show again. Our first repeat guest, man. Welcome back, dude.
Thanks for having me back, man. I've been trying to get back on. And so many guests been trying to get on in my spot. You know what I'm saying? I can't get back on, so I had to bribe my way on this week.
Well, to be honest with you, man. Other people want to hear. They want to hear other teams, man. They get tired of hearing about the Cowboys. They got enough of that on the other shows on these other networks, right? You hear about the Cowboys and Lakers all the time. You know what I'm saying? But we had a fun time with you last time, so we wanted to get you back and see if you give us some insight before your first round. Knocked out.
We might be. We might be. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be. I did not like that performance at the end of the season. You're supposed to be sending messages if you're going to play your players. You know what I'm saying? We had something still on the line technically. I don't know if there was, side watching the Philly game to make sure that they was whipping the Giants to see if that game going to matter. But that was just awful. It was an awful performance. I haven't seen Dak. I don't know if I've seen Dak ever play that bad. He was 37.
He's been playing bad last 5 weeks.
Not the last 5 weeks. No,
Facts.
not the last.
No,
5
that's
weeks.
facts. He has 12 interceptions in 5 games.
Yeah, but he wasn't bad all 5 of those games. One of those games he threw like 340 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's not bad.
Okay.
So this game is just a bad taste in my mouth. Going into the playoffs, going to play a quarterback that you've never beat. It just wasn't a good showing. He 38% passing. You threw for 128 yards and a touchdown and a pick, and that pick was a pick 6. And it was awful how it came too. He threw one pass just before that. It was almost the exact same pass. The guy drops the pick 6, and then he throws the exact same pass again, and this time the dude catches it at pick 6. It was just bad all the way around. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't pass the ball. And we still technically had something on the line right there. So it was a disappointing loss. It was a disappointing loss to lose to that team who sat 10 players, 10 starters. We was playing a rookie quarterback, Not even their running backs played. They started running backs didn't even play, So it was a very annoying, awful loss. Even though it really didn't mean anything in the scheme of things because Philly dominated the Giants, so we couldn't win the division, and we weren't going to move anywhere in the wild card slot. It was still terrible. It was just a terrible loss. And I'm not feeling good going into Tampa Bay when we're going on a downward slope and Tampa Bay is going on an upward slope.
You think so?
Not good at all. Yeah, I mean, well, if you go by that last game, Tom Brady let the beast out.
Did he? They lost.
No, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, they lost to the Falcons, man. Tampa has been.
No, I'm talking about that game because that game didn't matter. So they were winning at first, and then they sat all their starters.
Right.
The game didn't matter. I'm talking about the game before that, where Tom Brady threw for like 4 touchdowns and 400 yards.
Right. And no. I don't think Tom Brady is the problem in Tampa. I think it's the pieces around him because they're leaning heavily on him. He has to throw. I think he's thrown the most passes this year and had the most completions this year than any other year in his career. He is. Yeah, I mean, they're leaning heavily on him, and I just.
Well, you know what? They've always leaned heavy. I don't think it's any different than what they've done before. He's led the league in touchdowns 2 times since he's been in Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. He's had the most throws. He had the most attempts and the most throws in the league. So, and one of those years, I think he was close to the most yards thrown in the league. He was like first or second. So they've always leaned on him since he's been there. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing different.
Well, I think this year it's even more. Like the running game hasn't been there. Sometimes the defense is off. So they've leaned heavily on him. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think this is a favorable matchup for you guys.
I don't understand why we're favored. It's boggling me right now.
Really?
We're favored by 3 points.
And Micah Parsons is hurt.
And he's been kind of hurt all year.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is hurt too.
You do know the Bucks have a losing record, right? They won the division 8-9.
They're getting all their players back, though.
They had their players back, Phil.
No, they haven't. The offensive line has been hurt all season.
They got their wide receivers back.
Wide receivers.
But they had
their wide receivers. Now, I get your point about the offensive line. The offensive line is coming back. But they've had their wide receivers, Julio Jones, Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
He's been there.
Chemistry. Yeah, but the chemistry
has been shaky between him and Tom Brady. But Mike Evans has been there.
Yeah.
They've had all the receivers. The offensive line hasn't been there. So, I mean, that could help them, but I don't think this is a good team. And I think part of it is not because Tom Brady is bad or he's falling off the cliff. I think, early in the season, when he was going through that divorce, you saw some issues with him and his teammate. Chemistry wasn't there. And I think part of that is because, Tom Brady do these off season workouts with his team, his teammates, his receivers. They're working on chemistry and things like that. And I don't think he did that this year.
Well, you know what? I don't think that Todd Bowles is a good coach. I'm sorry. Yeah, I hate to put a brother coach down, but give Lovie Smith more shots over there in Houston. But
yeah,
Todd Bowles, I just do not think he's a good coach, right? I don't think he has the locker room. I don't think people like really respect him as a head coach. When he loses it bad, and he cannot turn that team around. I mean, that week that Tom Brady went off, it was just let's toss it up to Mike Evans Day.
Yep. that was a game against the Panthers, the game they needed to win. And they went all Mike Evans, which they should have been. He's the best receiver on the team.
But that's what all big time receivers do. That quarterback, that chemistry. Y'all gonna do the same with yours. You're gonna do the same. Dak is gonna find that connection, and he's gonna run it in the hole. Yep. That's what you're supposed to do. You find a weakness within that offense. And speaking of that, we've been nice to our guests a little bit far too long, Marv. So I see. Here's some things. What do you see? As far as the playoffs, I mean, you're limping into the playoffs. What do you see that would have to change in order for y'all to win defensively, offensively, halftime adjustments? I mean, give me your feel on that.
Man, we're suffering so bad defensively, particularly on defensive backfield.
That's true.
Our pass rush has been struggling lately. Parsons is not getting in the backfield. He keeps doing this thing, and I'm not sure if he's doing it on his own or we designing a stunt or something, but he keeps going inside to where all the big guys at. And he's getting hurt because he keeps doing it. I don't know why. I mean, I understand he's done it before his rookie year, but this ain't his rookie year, and they know he's coming now, So he's going to the inside. He keeps looping back. He starts on the outside, loops back to the inside, and gets washed in there. So that's why he's not as productive. And then our DBs are just terrible right now. We're getting smoked. I mean, it's just not looking good. Diggs is not playing at the MVP level he paid at last year at all. We're getting turnovers. We are getting turnovers, but we're giving up too much of the big play. And you cannot do that with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the last quarterback that you want to show a weakness. And if you got a weak corner, that weak corner going to get thoroughly embarrassed.
Okay? Yeah, y'all have a weakness.
We got weak corners right now. We got a very weak corner on the other side.
And they're injured.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's on the defense. Offensively, Dak is he's regressing. It feels like he's regressing, man. I mean, you can't miss 5 games and then lead the league in interception. You just cannot do it. You cannot do it. That's what made Dak at first when he first got in the league. He was not turning the ball over. He hardly ever turned the ball over. But part of that was because he didn't take risks, and we needed the risk so we can move the ball more. But our coaching has an issue with staying with the run. And we got just like that stat you put up, Marvin, about Taysom Hill. When Dallas runs the ball, we get 25 to 30 carries. Dallas is like 26-1. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And we know this, and we still don't run the ball. It's so weird. You go play Zeke, and then you pay Zeke, and then you give him less carries.
So I got a question. So I got a question with that, because I think y'all calling the run plays, but I think Dak is checking out of those run plays.
I don't think so.
There was something about that. There was something to that before, where Kellen Moore actually said that one year that he was calling run plays, but they were being checked out. Yeah, he did say that one year. Is that happening again this year? I don't know. But what I do know is when he throws some passing plays, they are not being completed. Like I said, the last game against the Redskins backup, you 14-37. I've never heard of that. I mean, that's the worst stat line I think I've ever heard him throw for 128 yards. And that's against the Washington's defense, who's not that good. And then they set a lot of their starters. So it's just not looking good. You don't want to go on the road with that, especially against a quarterback that you've never beaten. You already got that mental hurdle that you got to beat. Only way to get over that is physically. And right now, it don't physically look like we could beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay better than Washington. We could beat them with something on the road, So it's very annoying. And if we got a chance to win, because only shot we got is that we lead the league in turnovers. Defense could turn the ball over. If we can get some lucky turnovers here and there, maybe a strip sack, fumble return for a touchdown, we can squeak this out 3 points. Right? Other than that, we don't get the turnover, we don't win the turnover battle, it's done. I'm not looking to going past this game. I'm really not. I'm really not looking to go past this game.
And you think McCarthy's gone if they lose this game?
McCarthy is out of here. He should have never been in the first place. I couldn't stand when that pick came, when they made that pick. I don't like him. He was a positive regression out of Green Bay. His last season in Green Bay, they went 4-12. Okay. Since then, they had 13-3, 13-3, 13-3. Soon as he left. Okay, that's called addition by subtraction.
That's true.
In the clearest form. You can't see it no better. And when I try to tell people that, they be like, oh no, they drafted good. They drafted good. Well, why couldn't they draft good when McCarthy was there?
Well, I know the biggest change that they made in Green Bay when McCarthy left, they became more of a running team. Green Bay became more of a running team. They relied on their running backs. And they took a lot of weight off of Aaron Rodgers, whereas McCarthy, everything was on Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. And I think he's doing the same in Dallas because
you know what?
You guys have two good running backs.
Hold on. I don't believe that because he got 2 MVPs since McCarthy left. And you're not doing that if you're just a game manager. He got 2 league.
But
I didn't say it was a game manager.
Aaron Jones was having a good year.
Got 2 back-to-back league MVPs. He's not doing that being a game manager.
No, that's not. No one's saying that he's a game manager. It's not a bad thing when you got a good running back that takes the pressure off you, where you don't have to make every play. The play action pass works when your run game works. So I think that took a lot of pressure off him. But now, I mean, I think he's stinking it up because he doesn't want to be there anymore. I think he's done with Green Bay.
He's been seeming like that for the last 3 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but last year, he was trying to leave Green Bay. He was trying to get out, and they restructured his contract and basically had this last year, this farewell year to say goodbye because he's gone. I truly believe Aaron Rodgers is gone after this year. So
I think Aaron Rodgers is he's Bob Barker. He can be yours if the price is right. And I think Green Bay realizes that that's the only attention attraction that they could possibly have within that stadium. He's too. I mean, an owner. Let's face it all. We would like to think that our owners are fanatics like us. The owners are not. The owners have one initiative and one initiative only, and that's to put hot butts in seats. And Aaron really. He's that hard ticket sale. Winning, losing, it doesn't matter. He's going to fill that stadium all the way to capacity. And as long as he does that, I think that the governance of the whoever was on that board in order to decide, because Green Bay is owned by the community, I think they're going to lean more towards the return on investments, meaning filling that stadium to capacity, and that can only be Aaron Rodgers.
I hear you. Well, look. Before we continue on, let's kind of do our recap, right? So I'm not going to go through each game because I want to do also a season recap. Like when the season started, Phil and I made some predictions on how each division was going to fare out.
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah. And Phil, being slick as he is, made some slick comments. I'm gonna hold you to that, and I guarantee the Colts are going to be the worst team in the league. And Phil, he a wild boy. He came out with some wild stuff. So
and it all happened other than the Colts.
No. That's easy.
Write those down.
That go Phil, man. Get carried away. Not like that. So we'll get into that, but first things first. Phil won this season as far as the picks. He had a win percentage of 63%.
Oh yeah,
and he finished the season strong.
Oh yeah,
14-2 this past.
Woo! Oh, look at that! It reminds you, I
What?
started from the bottom. I just
Yeah.
want to announce I started from the bottom.
See,
You know what I
there
mean?
you go, Phil. There you
I
go.
started from the bottom.
There you
Call me
go.
Drake, yo.
Give
Started
them
from
an
the
inch.
bottom.
You
Now I'm
want to
on
take a
top.
yard. You know
You
what
know
I
what I
mean?
mean? Give me my flowers.
Oh,
14-2.
boy.
What can I say? What can I say?
say.
Don was like, keep that same energy. Well, guess what? My energy's raised. Where you
Are
at,
you
Don?
are you done? Are you done?
Where you at, Don? You know?
Oh man, yeah. You had a good game.
Congratulations, Phil.
Congratulations, Phil.
I
Yeah,
know.
Jesus. All right, Don came in second with 58%, and I, went out at 57%. So yeah, you finished the season strong, Phil.
How the times have changed. Wow.
Yeah. He started making some wild, lucky guesses. So
Oh man, here we go.
yeah, so whatever, man.
Oh man.
But real quick, go through some of our predictions at the beginning of the season because hey, what did we say, Phil? This is the voice of reason.
Yeah,
we're gonna make some wild picks, we're gonna make some wild predictions, and we're gonna hold ourselves accountable.
Yep. Oh
right?
Yep.
We're not gonna be like those other sports talk shows where they make these crazy predictions, and then at the end of the season they make it seem like, oh, well, I knew it all along. Joe Burrow is gonna be great.
I'm ready to take some accountability.
Yeah.
There's some accountability on this show. All right, so AFC East, Phil went with the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. You're pretty close, right?
Oh yeah.
But you didn't think the Pats were going to do that hot. You had them last. I didn't have them last. I had Bills, Dolphins, Pats, and Jets, and that's exactly how it ended out. So kudos to me. All right.
Oh.
In the North, AFC North.
Wait a minute, there's 3 picks in there though, did you? You ain't say what the other third person's
he wasn't here.
No, he wasn't here. Don wasn't here. Don wasn't here. Yeah. So
I would have won this one.
No,
I
I doubt that. Well, I mean, hey, we went with the AFC North. This is probably what you would have picked. We both went with the Ravens first. Bad move. But Phil made a bold prediction. He went with the Steelers being second in this division. Yeah.
Yes.
He had the Steelers being second. He figured it was going to bench Mitch Trubisky,
which they did,
but it didn't make much of a difference, Phil.
Well, so much for Clutch Kenny, huh?
Yeah, so much for Clutch Kenny. Right. So you went Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, and for it, this is him, right? We were 2 weeks into the season. He's looking at the fact that the Bengals kind of struggled out of the gate and made his pick based on that. Had the Bengals ending last in the division. Wow. Okay, so I went with Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers.
He had Phil had Bengals last in the division.
Last in that division. He had the Browns ahead.
There was a flip-flop mid-season. Was that what we're saying?
Yes. Flip-flop mid-season. Yes.
And actually, it saved my records here, obviously.
Yeah.
The Bengals saved me this season.
So that's what I say. Voice of reason. We're going to hold you to it, man. You're not going to be like those other shows coming back like you do it all along. I thought it was going to be
a Super Bowl hangover. I thought they were going to struggle this year.
No. But we both went with the Ravens first. Yeah, Ravens came second. So I came with Ravens, Bengals, Browns.
Nothing wrong with that pick.
I think if Lamar Jackson played, most of those games, the games that he was injured on, if he'd have played most of the year, I think the Ravens would have won the division. But like anyway,
I said before, you try and get wifey performance with girlfriend prices.
All right, so let's go to the AFC South, and this is where Phil said, the Jaguars are going to win the division, which he was right on, but he was adamant that the Jaguars were going to win 10 games. He yelled, he said, "Write this down, take a picture." Yeah, but they didn't. Okay, they won 9.
I said Close. 9 actually. Close. I said 9 games actually. Did you write that down? I said 9 games actually. I said the
No, you said no. I wrote it down. You said 10.
Well, I think you added one up there on purpose.
No, I didn't add one.
Okay.
This is recorded, right?
Okay. Well, go back and listen to the recordings. I said 9, but hey,
I did. You said 10.
We're gonna hold Marvin accountable for that. But okay.
Anyway, the Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Colts, and he predicted the Colts were going to be the worst team in the league and they were going to win 4 games. Now, you were right about them winning 4 games. but they weren't the worst team in the league.
That's fine. Okay. Who did you have?
So I had the Titans winning the division. I had the Colts second, Jags, and then Texans. So
Well, Titans were winning until they didn't.
yeah, well, once Tannehill went down, they lost like 6 straight. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that team completely fell off. And that's why I tell everybody,
Yeah.
I know you guys think I'm hyperbolic about it, but quarterback is the most important position.
I think they're headed towards a rebuild quickly.
Well, you got to find the right quarterback. I don't care what you do. You can rebuild all you want. You can make all these nice accessories around some incapable, inadequate quarterback. It ain't going to make a difference. This is not the 1970s or 80s or even the 90s when you can rely heavily on your defense to win ball games for you. If you ain't got a quarterback, you ain't winning jack. Period.
So Marv, you missed you got 50% of it. I think it's the tandem of the quarterback and the receiver, just like Aikman and Irvin. You seeing, the only reason Burrows can halfway, win some of the games or halfway have a chance is because of his contact with Chase. The same thing with Antonio Brown. I mean, with AJ, Brown. The things
I
that he's
agree.
doing. I mean,
But what about the other receivers that they got? Higgins and then I forget the tight end's name. You've never even heard of those guys.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah,
Tyler Boyd. Yeah.
Tyler Boyd. You would have never heard of those guys. That's because Joe Burrow makes things happen with those receivers. They're NFL receivers.
You have a true number one. You have a true number one.
Yeah, he has a number one. No one's disagreeing with that. I'm just talking about the others. He's making them look special. Like
he has some talent around him though. Mixon, if you
he got
add
a lot
Mixon,
of talent around him. He got a lot of talent around him.
The receivers and Mixon, he has one of the two. He got two of the best receivers and one of the best running backs in the league.
Tyler Boyd before Jamar Chase got there was one of the best. Tyler Boyd was one of the best slot receivers before Jamar Chase got there.
So okay, Tyler Boyd was the best slot receiver before Jamar Chase got there and before Joe Burrow got there, right? And Nixon was there before Joe Burrow got there. And this was a losing team before Joe Burrow got there. So
no quarterback.
I know, that's my point. You need a good quarterback. As bad as Joe Burrow's offensive line is, he makes things happen because
they spent some money on offensive line.
He avoids the sacks. He avoids the sacks. He gets the ball out quick. He makes things happen, and it's simple things as that. He doesn't have to be as elusive as Lamar Jackson, but if you just get the ball out quick, like Tom Brady does, because his offensive line is bad, that helps.
And when he needs to, he can run. He can run too.
And he can run.
Runs when he needs to.
Yeah, that kid can play. So that's why I say quarterback is the most important position, at least in today's game. You got to have a great quarterback. If you don't, see you later, Texans, Colts, Saints. You want to go out there with Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton? Playoffs not for you, buddy. Moving on, AFC West. Next slide. AFC West. You went with the Chiefs. That was easy. And oh my God, Phil said the Broncos will be second in the division. He said Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. Oh my God, he said
Hey Phil, I can't fault you for that because everybody thought that Walmart money would sober him up.
But Don, it was already 2 games.
I was on a Russell Wilson. I was on a Russell Wilson train. I was on it.
It was already 2 games into the season, so he got a chance to see it, and he still.
That's the beginning. That's the beginning of the season. I mean, first 2 games, man, getting the Kings out. I was new coach.
I went Chiefs, Chargers. And I predicted Chargers would make the playoffs. Raiders and Broncos. I predicted the Broncos to be a bad team. All right. Next, NFC East. Phil went with the Eagles, Giants, which was his bold pick. He said that.
Yep.
Eagles, Giants, Cowboys. He doesn't believe in the coaching with the Cowboys and Commanders. So you're pretty close there.
Yeah.
And I went with Eagles. And I predict the Eagles going to the NFC Championship game, Cowboys, and I had the Commanders ahead of the Giants. I said the Giants would be competitive, but I didn't see them going to the playoffs, and they made the playoffs. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Commanders have the same thing with the quarterback issue that you have, Marvin. They have a quarterback that was doing pretty solid work, and they just kept steering away from him.
Yeah, they went to Carson Wentz, and I
I don't
don't
get
know.
that.
I don't get
But
that
see,
either.
Heineke had an issue with the turnovers at the bad spot. Bad
So did
time.
Wentz.
Like Wentz too. I get it, Wentz too. But Wentz was supposed to be the one with the potential. Not
Right.
Heineke.
I've always said that when they pulled him out that 49er game when he threw the 2 picks, and then next week they come back and start Wentz, who threw the same 2 picks against the worst team and kept him in the game.
Yeah. I guess it's just, and this is what frustrates me with a lot of teams is the whole idea of, well, he was drafted 2nd overall. Yeah, well, he's 6'5" and he has a big arm. They're like, but he stinks. He doesn't win. And to me, that's what matters. I always tell people about the greatest gifted quarterback I've ever seen was one of the worst quarterbacks that I ever seen. His name is Jeff George. I don't know if y'all remember Jeff George.
Yes, we all remember him.
I never agree with that when people used to say that about him.
But that dude threw the prettiest ball. He flicked it down the field. It was pretty. His technique looked great, but that dude couldn't win a game. He stunk it up. Every team he went to, from the Colts, the Falcons, I can't even remember. I think he went to the Chargers. He played with so many different teams, and he just couldn't win. He just couldn't do it. It's just those intangibles.
So what do you think? What do you think about the rookie quarterback?
I didn't watch the game, so I can't. I don't really have a take on it. We probably gonna have to get a commander.
The kid Howell from North Carolina, solid.
Yeah.
He could push the ball, and also he has that mobility, which everybody tries to. His mobility is cool with the other type of quarterbacks. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. I'm glad you picked up on it because when you got Hurts, Lamar, and those type of guys that we've been seeing in Pop Warner from days in,
Well, Don, they didn't want to convert him to a running back or wide receiver. No, they didn't ask him during his interview. Hey, have you thought about playing running back like they did Jalen Hurts?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Or hey, Lamar, why don't you run the 40-yard dash so we can see how fast you are at receiver? No. It's amazing to me. Just because you're athletic and you can make plays with your feet, for some reason you can't throw the football. I don't know how that works, but seemingly that's how NFL GMs and coaches look at things. Anyway, all right.
But back to what you said, Howell, he's a solid quarterback. I think he's the right move.
Look, at some point, if I'm the Commanders, you got to just scrap everything and give somebody a chance. Give this kid Howell 2-3 years to build on what you saw. If you see the potential, give him the 3 years to build on it and see where you go from there.
I think they need to. I think they need to just draft a quarterback every year. Every year they should draft a quarterback, no matter what. Just draft a quarterback, no matter what, every year till you find one. Because that's their problem for like 15 years.
Yeah.
But I think how is that guy?
How
has potential. Like he has potential. He's mobile. He does like to throw down the field. But what you want to see is, can he consistently win you those ball games when you need to?
If you don't give him a season to do that, you would never know.
That is true.
I honestly think he's got one season because I think they're getting ready to get new ownership in here, and if they have a bad year next year and he does well or doesn't do well, he's gonna be gone. The coach is gonna be gone, and the ownership's gonna want to start all over again.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think he got 1 year, and I don't know if it's because of the ownership. I just know that's how they do business. Everybody gets 1 or 2 years with the Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team, whatever the hell you want to call it.
But I mean, this is kind of how Heineke started.
And then they're out of there.
Well, only thing I'm gonna say with this is they see him in practice every day.
Yeah,
and they did not want to play him until everybody was out.
Yeah,
but you played Wentz.
That matters.
Yeah, even last year. Last year they went in with what's the guy's name? The quarterback that didn't play for like 10, 11 teams.
That's
Kyle Allen.
No, not Kyle Allen. Talking about Smith.
No, with the beard.
For the Bucks.
Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick played for like 13 teams. They went into the season with him as a starter. It's like, have you not seen the last 13 seasons that Fitzpatrick has played? I want to say for 11, 12 different teams, and has never been to the playoffs.
Nope. Not one.
And you want to make him your starting quarterback.
Well,
Because
you
he
do have
puts
to
hot
say
butts
that.
in seats. Go ahead,
But,
Dale.
I was just gonna say the reason why he's going to these teams because he's going to bad teams. He was going to bad teams every year.
Okay, but to me,
We never seen him in a good
but
system.
you got to be able to elevate your team. That's what good quarterbacks do. Lamar Jackson elevates the Baltimore Ravens. Without Lamar, that's a bad team. We've seen it with Huntley and was it Anthony Brown, Tony Brown, whatever the dude's name. I don't know.
Brown.
Whatever.
But I always think Lamar's situation is unique though. When you have those running quarterbacks that commit to the run so much, because it's a different style of football that people just not used to playing on the regular. So, because you think about it, there's no receivers that really do well at Baltimore. They just don't. Yeah, he's the quarterback, right? So the receivers don't do well, but the tight end does great.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. The tight end does great. He seems to have a pretty
Because
good
you got to
connection
ask
with the
yourself
center.
this.
That's
the
what you see
reason
running quarterbacks, like
so,
Algie Crumpler with Vic. You know?
But my point is he elevates the team. When you look at Patrick Mahomes and compare him to Alex Smith, before Patrick Mahomes took over that team, that was a first round losing team. First round of the playoffs. Same coach, same coaching staff, same Tyreek Hill, same Kelsey, Travis Kelsey at tight end, same players. First round, they're out of the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes show up, AFC Championship game every year. So he elevates the team, and that's what you need a quarterback to do.
He definitely did. He definitely did.
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, Josh Allen elevates the Buffalo Bills. It's just that, I don't know what they're looking at. Like you said, I don't know what they see at practice or what they're hearing from these players in the quarterback room, but it is amazing to me.
The only difference with that situation is that they were already a playoff team when Patrick got there. They were a consummate playoff team. They would make the playoffs every year. They'll win that division most of the time. So they were already a good, decent team. But Fitzpatrick is going to bad teams. Like he wasn't going to playoff teams. All those are bad teams, including the Jets.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he was on some good teams.
I can't think of one.
I can tell you one.
That's why he was able to start. That's why
he was able
to come in and start, because they were a bad team.
The Tampa Bay Bucks, when he was there.
They were bad before he got there.
No, they weren't. Same player.
Before Jameis?
No, Jameis was there.
They were terrible.
Mike Evans was there.
Yeah, they were terrible. They were terrible, Marvin.
Mike Evans.
He was leading the league.
Listen to me, guys. Same players. Like I told y'all before with Jameis Winston, when he was there and Tom Brady shows up the next year and the damn team goes to the Super Bowl.
I would give you that, yes.
Fitzpatrick.
I would give you that.
But hear me out. These are Davis, Levante Davis was there. Devin White, Evans. The team was loaded. I mean, you keep losing every year, you're going to get a bunch of first-round draft picks. And then finally you get a quarterback, a competent quarterback that shows up and in a Super Bowl. So Fitzpatrick, he's had opportunities. He's just not a competent quarterback. Yeah, it's the GOAT, but it's a 45-year-old GOAT. I mean, this not Randy Moss and Tom Brady GOAT from 10, 12 years ago. This guy's 45 years old. He's on the way out. So
they've been saying that for the last 5 years, but somehow he still keep winning Super Bowls.
But do you remember how he looked that last year in New England? He looked old and washed up when he was trying to carry those Patriots by himself.
Yeah, he had no receivers that day. That year. Zero receivers.
And when he looked at the landscape and they asked him what team you want to go to, no one ever thought he was going to go to the Tampa Bay Bucks. And guess what? He went there. So, all right, well, let's get back. Let's finish up. So Phil went with the Vikings, Packers, Lions, and Bears for the NFC North. I went with the Vikings. I'm sorry, I went with the Packers. I just did not believe Aaron Rodgers was going to lose the division, and he did. He stuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I went with the Packers, Vikings, Lions, and Bears. So the Packers is where I got it wrong. NFC South, Phil went with the Bucks, Falcons, Saints, and Panthers. And for some reason, he was pretty adamant about the Falcons, doing really well and being second in his division. And I was like, Come on, Phil, stop it, yo.
Well. The Panthers, Saints, and Falcons all had the same records, so I don't think that should count. But I'll hold some accountability for that.
Yeah, you should because the Saints swept the Falcons. Falcons stink.
Well, you didn't believe in the Saints, so it doesn't matter.
I know, and then I was surprised that they beat the Falcons. That's what amazed me. It was like we swept the Falcons, and we were bad. So that tells you how bad the Falcons were.
Desmond Ridder the last 3 games. Give him one more year, or
I don't know. He looked pretty bad to me. I mean, it could just be it's his first year.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I just want to go on the record and say that the Falcons stink. And I told Nate that if he's gonna come on next season, we gotta get him early, because if we don't get him early, then that team's gonna be irrelevant, and that's on the record.
Yeah, and Nate came on here with a lot of energy about those Falcons. It's like, Nate, stop it. Falcons not going anywhere, man. Anyway, my picks were the Bucks. I had the Bucks winning the division. I had the Saints coming in second at 7-10, Panthers and Falcons. So I was pretty on with that one. Well, no, I wasn't, because the Panthers are second in the division, I think.
Yeah. They were Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You don't know which Panthers.
Yeah. Well, especially a Panthers team with a quarterback that completes 5 of 15 for 43 yards and somehow still wins the game. But I've never seen anything like that. I mean, that was like high school type plays that was happening out there. But anyway, all right. So we got the playoffs coming up. We got the wild card games.
Oh, you didn't talk about NFC West.
Yeah, I did. I didn't talk about Geno?
No, I don't think so. San Francisco. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Phil said 49ers, Rams, Cards, and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had the 49ers, Cards, Rams, and Seahawks. So both of us picked the Seahawks to end last in that division.
Yeah.
And they end up making the playoffs, coming second in that division. Yeah. So, yeah, we definitely didn't get that one. Well, we got the 49ers right, but the rest of that division was just a mess.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured the Rams were going to have like a Super Bowl hangover.
Not that bad, though.
It was bad enough. All right, let's look at the playoff games. All right, you guys got your predictions ready?
Oh, yeah. All
right, cool. All right, let's start with the Saturday games. All right, so first game, we have the 49ers at home against the Seahawks. The 49ers are 9.5-point home favorites. This is the 4:30 game. I got the 49ers winning this game. I think I told you guys before. I like Kyle Shanahan. I don't care who his quarterback is. It kind of reminds me of Mike Shanahan days with the Broncos, when they would just throw anybody back at running back. They put Don out at running back, and he rushed for 100 yards. It didn't matter. So that's kind of how I see the 49ers. So Phil, who you got?
You know what? Hear me out here. And this is why, you know, and this is why, you know what I mean? Hear me out here. This is a playoff, so everything is 0-0. There's pressure on here. The 49ers are starting a rookie quarterback, and something's telling me that the Seahawks are going to win this game. It's going to be a very close game, defensive game. I'm taking the Seahawks here in a very close game, like 21 to like 16. I think something about the quarterback. I think they're going to. I think the Seahawks going to pull off an upset here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think the Seahawks are going to even score 10 points.
Okay.
I think this 49ers defense is going to roll through that Seahawks offense. But that's my thoughts. Don, who you got?
28-14, 49ers.
28-14. Wow. Are we picking scores now? I mean, what's going on?
I mean, Phil did it, so
I was about to too.
Yeah, damn. Okay, well, I'm just getting the Seahawks are just going to score 10 points. I'm not going as far as predicting.
Oh, yeah, you kind of did it too. Yeah, a little bit.
I just, a little bit. I didn't get carried away with it. 28-14, 21-16. What the hell? All right, Don, what's your score prediction?
You just gave it.
I said 28-14.
So no, I'm talking about Don. Don. I mean, not Don. Dell.
I'm about to say, yeah, it
Yeah, I
is
mean
Don.
Dell.
Dell has 31-13, San Francisco.
Woo!
Backing them
Woo!
up. There's no defense in Seattle.
Woo!
There's zero
31-13.
defense. There's zero
Ooh.
defense in Seattle.
Exactly. Seattle.
They're not gonna be able to handle that running game coming out
Right.
there.
Right.
Arrested San Francisco team.
Purdy doesn't have to work that hard.
Nope.
His jersey is going to be nice and clean after the game.
Absolutely.
He going to hang that joint up
Okay.
and get ready for next week.
Wow.
All right.
Wow, okay. All
All right. So we got the 8:15 game. We have the Jaguars at home against the Chargers. So Vegas has this game even. I don't. I got the Chargers winning this game. Going away. Phil, I already know who you got. You got the Jags winning, right?
Yeah, I've been on the Jags train. I'm staying on it. Jaguars.
Okay.
I got the Jags winning, and here's why. The Chargers been skating on thin ice all the way through
Yeah.
it, and I'm really
Yeah.
not impressed in how they push the ball downfield. So I'm gonna go with the Jaguars because they're a little bit more exciting.
And they've been relying on Herbert a lot, and their defense is not that great.
I think this is going to be Herbert's coming out party.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dell.
I have the Chargers barely winning that game. Like a 20-17 type game.
Damn.
But yeah, it won't be easy. It's definitely not gonna be an easy game for them.
Wow. You don't think
too well.
Marvin, you don't think this is Trevor Lawrence's coming out party?
No, I think his slipper is going to come off. Cinderella's slipper is going to come off. It's been a great year. Don't get me wrong. The Jags, had a great year. It shows how coaching makes a difference, right? Peterson did an amazing job with the Jags, but I think it all ends here.
The disrespect.
It's not to be disrespectful. I thought they had a great year. Trevor Lawrence has shown that he can be a great quarterback. So the potential is there. All right. Moving on to the Sunday games. All right. So first up, we got the Bills at home against the Dolphins. The Bills are 9.5-point home favorites. Yeah, this is real easy. The Bills are going to win this game. They're motivated. It's going to be cold, probably snowing. Dolphins in snow. Yeah, come on now. Tyreek Hill, a cheater, running in snow with a bad ankle. Not happening. Bills win. Bill, I know you're going to pick what I picked. Go ahead.
Bills, no Tua. I don't believe in Skylar Thompson. So, Bills.
Oh, yeah, good point. And I take it Teddy Two Gloves is not playing either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is even easier. Don, Bills, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bills. Bills got a lot on their heart. I think they're gonna come out there with the right mindset and playing with a third string quarterback. That just doesn't fare well for the Dolphins.
Yeah. Dell, you going with the Dolphins?
That is no, sir. That is with the Bills taking that big time.
All right. Well, you're not predicting a score on this one?
28-13.
2013.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that's a light score for the Bills for real.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the 4:30 game. We have the Vikings at home against the Giants. The Vikings are 3-point home favorites. Phil already made his pick. He has the Giants beating the Vikings. And, just because he picked the Giants, I went ahead and picked the Vikings. I'm not doing that. I got the Giants winning this game too.
Wow.
I'm doing that. Yeah.
Wow.
You giving a score?
No, I'm not giving any score.
Wow. Marvin with the Giants. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I originally picked, and I switched it just to mess with you.
Okay.
But yeah, I truly believe the Giants are going to win this game. I think they're going to surprise the Vikings. I think the Vikings had a great season, but I think, the playoff hangover stuff and all the stuff, the baggage that Kirk Cousins carries when it comes playoff time, I think it's
Giants defense is pretty good.
The Giants defense is pretty good, and it's inside. Weather doesn't affect anything. So I think the Giants are going to win this game. Don.
I don't even know if I consider this going against the curve because the Vikings are a favorite in this. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this, and here's why. Kirk Cousins can push that ball.
Mhm.
He can make all the throws. And then on top of that, he has the best receiver in the NFL. I thought we
Yep.
forgot about that.
Nope.
We have to mention that. And between you got to pick your poison. If you're gonna let Jefferson or you're gonna let Cook eat. But somebody's gonna eat. So and you don't want them eating that clock because if they get ahead, remember the Giants does not have the offense to play catch up.
Well, let me comment on that. They've been double teaming Jefferson. They're saying Thielen beat us. I mean, he has been playing well the last couple of weeks. Dalvin Cook has disappeared. I don't know what in the world he's the guy going on with him. And that Hawkinson, he has disappeared. So I tell you right now, I think in the same routine, they got to double team Jefferson until somebody else got to beat us. And we don't have anybody.
Well, you know what, Phil? I'm gonna take your Vikings card from you, man, because this is ridiculous.
Well, hey,
You
I
know,
mean,
every week.
it's been the same, man. We got blown out against the Packers. We got blown out against the Cowboys. It's been the same thing, same thing.
But I mean, you only mentioned 2 blowouts, and you only lost 4 games on the season. You won 13,
We got blown out against the Eagles.
and that was it, right?
Eagles,
Number one team in the NFL.
and we lost to the Packers. I believe. I believe we lost to the
Yeah,
Packers.
you did lose to the Packers.
Yeah, we
early
lost
in
to
the
the Packers,
season.
which was a close game. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
no, actually, we got blown out against the Packers. That's 4
I'm
playoffs.
gonna stop calling you a Vikings fan. Yeah.
Hate,
Hey,
hate, 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 hate.
Who you got, man?
I think I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Okay.
Even though I feel real shaky about the pick. Because they just, I mean, I still got that first half of that Colts game in my head, and I know what their potential is on the bad side. But then I remember the second half of that game, and I remind me of their potential on the good side. They got some talented players in decent spots, but Kirk Cousins and the team is so inconsistent. I think they're going to squeak one by a slightly lesser talented team. Well, not even slightly, a lesser talented team. They're going to squeak by just on talent.
Yeah, I understand, and I actually like the Vikings, but I think this is probably going to be a bad matchup for them with the Giants having such a good defense, and they're going to force Kirk into some mistakes.
I mean, I would pick the Giants, but I can't even think who their number one receiver is.
I don't think it even matters.
I can't even name them.
Yeah, they don't have one.
I don't exactly.
So, okay, all right. Let's go on to the next game. All right, this is the Sunday night game. We have the mighty Cincinnati Bengals at home.
Watch your mouth, man. Watch your mouth.
At
Continue.
home against the itsy bitsy Ravens with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. Yeah, the Bengals are 7-point home favorites. All right, yeah, let me stop joking with you, Don. I actually believe Lamar Jackson is going to play. And I think the Ravens are going to win this game. So this is my bold pick. I'm going with the Ravens. I think Lamar's going to show up and show out. Phil.
I got the Bengals here. Lamar is not playing. He hasn't practiced in 5 weeks. Contract issues. He is not risking any more injury. So he's telling this is a stance to where pay me or I'm not playing. So that's just how it is.
Don?
I'm just gonna say, hey, so Marv, I applaud your pick because that's not a bold pick. But I'm gonna say nobody. And as for Phil, Jay-Z had a song say nobody wins from the Family Feud. I think that we're gonna go ahead and say that Lamar said, okay, the regular season I've given you, $8 worth of gas. So out of 10, you think you gave me $10, but I'm gonna give you $8 worth of gas. And I
Well,
think
Don, haven't you been preaching all year that there are no issues between Baltimore and Lamar?
there's always an issue. I told you, you trying to get wifey performance with girlfriend prices. I mean, this is the business.
Come on, man. They
You
paying
gotta
all
be
these other
listening.
quarterbacks. They paying all these other quarterbacks
So once
before the
again,
season starts.
you don't count another man's money. So the ball. I mean, the business of old is not the business of new. And right now we're going through a paradigm where as though we're trying to see where as though some of these quarterbacks are going to get their money up front. And he's the leading vote in this. So how he handles this situation is going to be pivotal as far as how people negotiate their contracts moving forward. That being said, I think that Lamar coming in and that he's going to open up a lot of things. One, he's going to give that defense the rest that they need in order to be explosive. Right now, I think the 3-and-outs have been hurting us because Huntley and Brown, they haven't been doing great with ball control. During the playoffs, ball control matters because if you have a high flying defense and they get to pin their ears back, it gives them more incentive to get that extra 3-and-out so they can get that breather. And I think the ball control that the Ravens have displayed with Dobbins, also with our double tight end set, and occasionally taking it off the top with Deshaun, I think that's going to be the formula for success. So mark my words, and when Lamar comes back, that's what the Ravens going to do. And I see us mimicking what we did in the first part of the season when we was putting up almost 42 points a game.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, that's not the same energy I heard, from week to week this past couple of weeks. But okay.
All right. So you got the Ravens winning this game. Got it.
Facts.
Oh boy.
Dale.
I think we still got a coin flip pending on this game.
The disrespect.
Which is going to matter. Home team does matter in the playoffs. I'm going to say that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win this game. Just for a simple fact, there's too many injuries on the Ravens. You got a Lamar who hasn't played in 5 or 6 weeks. You got like a lot of people on defense hurt with the Ravens, and the Cincinnati just looked that last game. They just, even though they were playing a depleted Ravens team, they just looked so good, so dominant in that game. And I think that was the momentum they needed to roll into the playoffs. And so I think they're going to continue that in the playoffs and win this game.
And I want to add that it was just announced that Baltimore just signed Roquan Smith to an extension. So that says a lot of things too. I don't know if you knew that, Don.
What does that say?
So,
what do you mean?
I don't think I think they're going to trade Lamar. They're going to franchise tag him or trade him. One of the two.
Why would you say that?
I move towards the franchise tag more than the trade.
Yeah.
The trade makes no sense because they will burn Baltimore City to the ground.
No, they'll just get another quarterback. They'll just go get another quarterback.
They don't want another quarterback.
Once again, man, when you have a franchise quarterback, you keep him. I don't know why.
But you also pay him. If you have a franchise quarterback, you pay him.
Yeah, that's what teams do. They pay their franchise quarterback.
Baltimore's not doing that.
Why wouldn't they not?
They haven't done it.
They're going to pay him with the franchise tag.
They've made offers to him. Okay. They made offers to him. They're just not close on the agreement. So they are making offers. So
this is the franchise tag. How much is he getting with the franchise tag next year?
Probably about
close to 30.
It's going to be 30. It's going to be close to 40.
Yeah, it's going to be real close to 40.
Yeah.
So that's the new business. Is that same? I think he's going to have to take the same road that Kirk Cousins took.
But he wants more guaranteed money. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Saying that.
Yeah.
But so if he's a franchise, if he's viewing himself as a franchise quarterback, your team isn't.
Whoa.
Okay, so
no, see, there you go, man. You making up stuff. They do view him as they wouldn't be making offers to him.
Then offer him the money he wants.
No, every team and their quarterback go through this debate as they try to find the right deal, man. Every team, they do, man. If they're making offers to him, they see him as a franchise quarterback. If they didn't, they wouldn't be making offers to him. Now, just because they're not close with the numbers, it's just like what Dallas did with Dak. They was prepared. Did they put Dak? They gave him a franchise tag, right? They franchised him, or they were about to franchise.
They didn't franchise.
They didn't franchise. They finally came to a deal.
They finally came with a deal.
Yeah,
but Dak's not a franchise quarterback. So they just kind of desperate and gave him that money. That's a totally different situation.
Dak is a franchise. Well,
he's not a franchise quarterback.
He was
I'm not going to argue that right now.
He's not playing like one now, but before he was a franchise quarterback. Period.
Okay.
And once again, here we go. Once again, Phil, Dak, Lamar, garbage. Derek Carr, great. I
didn't say he was great.
I don't know how this works. Anyway, Dale, you got the Bengals. All right.
Ooh.
I wonder if Joe Burrow's a franchise quarterback.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
He
Joe
is.
Burrow is definitely a
Top 5
franchise
quarterback.
quarterback.
I've been raving about Joe Burrow all season.
doubt.
You know that. I've been raving about Joe
But
Burrow.
he
all
never
season.
won a Super Bowl.
He's been to one.
He never won it.
He's been further than Lamar. He's been further than Lamar.
Has he got an MVP?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. All right. Moving on. All right. This is the Monday night game. We have the Bucks at home against the Cowboys. The 8-9 Bucks against the 12-5 Cowboys.
Woo-hoo!
Cowboys are 2.5-point road favorites. Yeah,
boy.
I'm going with the Cowboys because the Bucks have not played well of late. I've seen a pretty bad Bucks team. So I think the Bucks are going to lose this game. Phil.
I got the Bucks here.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't believe in Dallas's defense right now.
Okay. All right. Don.
So we're gonna go and we're gonna look at line for line. So the quarterback plus or minus, you're looking at 25 and 9 touchdown Tom Brady to Dak's 25 and 15. Now you're looking at the rushing pilot. He got 1,007, 9 touchdowns. You're looking at Barrett, who has 608, 3 touchdowns. So I give it to Pollard. And now you're looking at receivers. Now you're looking at Lamb, almost 1,400, yards and 6 touchdowns, and you're looking at Evans that came in on the back end. So statistically, you would go with the Dallas Cowboys. However, I would go with.
How come you only mentioned one running back in Dallas? I'm just saying, there's 2 of them. Right?
It's only one that's effective.
Okay, I think the other one's effective too. I mean, what's his yards?
So I think that his effectiveness is when you call a run play, he will make Dak not check out that run play. That's that's the difference between, and that's why I asked that question in the beginning, because I think that if Pollard commanded that same respect that Zeke did, when you have that run play, you don't check out of it. You probably, reverse it to the other side, or you change the blocking scheme, but you still run that play because Dallas has a great line. However, if you keep that ball in Dak's hands, I think that's the disaster waiting to happen. I'm going with the Buccaneers.
Go with the Bucks. All right, I hear you.
Okay, well,
Dale.
I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna join the clan and do a little bit of feelings over facts.
Okay.
Voice of reason. Woo!
Okay.
I gotta say, well, boys, they know that they look bad. The fans are talking about them. They had a horrible game against Washington. They know what they need to do. Dak know he needs a playoff win. He only has one so far in 6 years. This is 7th season. I think they're going to come together and squeak out a 3-point victory, only because we get turnovers. I don't think that we're going to really stop the run well, because we haven't stopped the run well against anybody lately. And I think if we can get to Tom Brady, we can get some turnovers and make this game closer than where it would be if we don't get those turnovers. So we get 3. I say if we get 3 turnovers, we win this game. 3 turnovers, we win this game 20-17.
Is it 28-17?
20-17.
20-17.
So you saying that you're going to win?
Low scoring.
So you're going to win the turnover battle, because they're all going to be turnovers.
Hey, we second in the league in turnover differential, so that's possible.
Yep.
Second in the league in turnover differential, first in turnovers.
15 interceptions.
Yeah, that's why we're not number 1.
I don't even think it's about turnovers. I think that the Bucks offense, they're struggling. If they can't get the ball to Mike Evans, they're going to struggle.
Yeah. I mean, how many games over 20 points have they scored this year?
Oh, they had a couple.
I think 2.
But
they've only had 2 games out of 17 that they scored over 20 points. I mean, over 21 points.
I'm not exactly sure. I see a couple of games where they scored over 20 points. But my point is, they lost to the Panthers 21-3. They got blown out by the 49ers 35-7. Lost to the Bengals 34-23.
Yeah.
You know, they've struggled. They've struggled. This is the most I've seen them struggle. So I don't. And then look at it. They're 8-9. They lost 9 games. This is not a good football team. It's just a football team that was in a bad division.
Yep.
So not to say that the Cowboys are great. It's just they got lucky and played probably the worst team in the playoffs, in my opinion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, like I said, more than half of their games is 21 points or less.
That's true. That's true.
They're not an explosive team this year. They're just not. They had one game against Carolina. I think that's the most points they scored all year. Is that game he exploded in the fourth quarter against Carolina?
Right. The game where they scored 30. That was that was the most him and Mike Evans. I hear what Don is saying. Maybe Mike Evans and Tom Brady have finally found that connection and it's going to be hitting against in this game. Maybe. I don't know. I only saw it once this year.
Right. Considering before that game, Mike Evans went 9 straight games without a touchdown or 100-yard game.
Yeah. That says a lot.
They got to show me more than one game.
Yeah.
They got to show me more than one game.
Yeah.
But if they want to, if this is time to get right, Dallas apparently is the team that to get right against.
That's true.
They can do what every other team.
That's true.
Let them get right. If you can't run the ball, run against Dallas. You get 5, 6 yards, you can. So if we don't get the turnovers, though, it's curtains for us. We're done. We got to get the turnover. Have to.
Well, yeah, I'm
3 turnovers for the victory.
All right. Well, I want you and Phil to know this is being recorded, and the fact that you both picked against your teams in the playoffs.
No. I didn't pick against them. I said 20.
He said feelings. He said feelings over facts.
Feelings over facts.
Oh, okay. So you're going with the Cowboys. I'm glad I asked.
I'm going with the Cowboys. Yeah.
Okay. It sounded more like they were saying the Bucks were going to win this game. As he talked more and more, it seemed like he was going Bucks.
Oh no, he was talking facts. He was talking facts.
Look, if I had to put money on it, I'll put money on the Bucks. If I absolutely had to put money on it, I'll put it on the Bucks. I said at the beginning of the show. Well, I don't understand why Dallas is favored. I just don't. I don't understand why they're favored.
Well, I mean, think about
Jerry Jones, he's master at marketing.
Think about it. They're playing an 8-9 team, and they're favored by 2.5 points. So it's not saying a lot here.
In Tampa Bay, though, you're supposed to get 3 points for just being at home.
Yeah, you get 3 points just being at home.
Right. So they really said they more like a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that don't sound right to me. Not the way they look. Both teams looking right now.
Well,
Tom Brady's still a GOAT.
Tampa Bay is better than that Washington team that came out there the other day. They're way better than that team.
That's true. I give you that. All right, guys, let's go and wrap things up. All right. Well, to our listeners, appreciate you guys listening to us today. Check us out every week. We do this every week. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. We'll catch y'all next week.